This video is sponsored by Ubisoft. Hey, what's going on everybody? Brando free to play back on my Might and Magic Heroes Era of Chaos free to play account. And there has been quite a few different changes and things that I've done since my last video. But I just want to let you guys know right out the bat that I'm really enjoying this game. It is a really nice change of pace compared to other games that I have played and that I make videos for. But yeah, definitely, I would highly recommend anybody to just give this game a try and see it for yourself. Just go ahead and click on that link down in the description below. Depending on when you're actually watching this video, it would be either a pre-registration link or the download link. Yeah. So one of the things that I've noticed so far is that they have finally added an NA server. We have NA Vanguard 1 Shadow of Death. So that is awesome. That is really sweet. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at how my account has been progressing past couple days since this server came out. Also, one thing I noticed that you can create different accounts on the different servers. You just have to start over from scratch, I think. At least that's what I had to do from going from the Asia server to the NA server. It pretty much reset the account back to essentially level 1. Alright, let's go ahead and ignore those little advertisement pop-ups that come up in the front. Obviously those are mainly paid features or options that people can buy into. Obviously, I'm a free-to-play player. I don't really care about that stuff. But yeah, my account officially Brando F2P, Brando free-to-play. As of this video, I am currently level 30. Alright. I do not have a guild yet. Kind of undecided whether or not I should join an existing guild or create my own. Definitely would like to hear your guys' feedback. I could create my own guild and you know, we could all play together, level up together, have some fun, and you know, it's a nice game to play. It's not ultra super duper competitive compared to Lords Mobile where you need to spend a buttload of money to progress. I mean, I'm enjoying the game, and I don't spend a penny on it. So definitely something that maybe we can play together. Again, download link is down in the description. I do have my little funny signature, free to play, better than or greater than pay to win. Obviously, I'm playing this game just to have fun. And yeah. But being a level 30, it doesn't take that long and it isn't that difficult to get to level 30 or to level up so far. One of the things that I have noticed is that as you're leveling up, you get more and more things that you get to explore. Maybe some of these features may require their own dedicated videos, which I will most likely do in the future, especially since I'm really enjoying myself in the game. Now, the only thing that I have yet to unlock is back here, the barracks. I need to be level 39. But pretty much everything else I have unlocked. I have the guild hall, magic guild, I have the astrologer, the marketplace. Obviously I have the altar, I have the coliseum, I have the roster, training ground. I have the gate unlocked. I have privileges, I have formations, inventory, artifacts, and heroes. So yeah, there's actually quite a bit of information that we can go over. One of the things that I do want to kind of let you guys know about is, especially an update, my heroes. Now, I don't know if you remember the last video. I had like maybe 5 heroes, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Now I have 15. So I've gained quite a few more heroes since my last video. Again, all of this is strictly free to play. I've just been playing the game, saving gems, or yeah, saving diamonds I should say, and just, enjoying the game. So far, this is how my heroes have progressed. And I want to actually talk about what the hero units are. These aren't necessarily heroes, they're like your troops, they're your units. Heroes are something separate. I will talk about that in a little bit. Okay. Now, your units, they are pretty much one of the main aspects of customization, in a sense, and in the game, right? So every unit is split up into 5 different categories, okay? So you have the defensive unit, which is essentially your front line, your tank. They're the ones that have damage reduction or high health pools. Those are your defensive units. You also have your offensive units, which is kind of like your offensive front line. These units, they can pretty much deal a bunch of damage and also lower the enemy's armor, right? Some of them can do that. Some of them, like I said, they can do a lot of different things, but it's actually pretty cool, okay? The charging unit, now this is kind of like a unique type of a frontline unit, especially in the sense that if there is no troop or no enemy in its line of sight, like directly in front of it, it will bypass the front line and go straight to the back line, right? So that is something that is actually pretty cool. Definitely some nice little tactics you can play on that, especially if you want to take out their backline right away, because their backline can do some serious damage. But you also, especially like in the Coliseum, right, or in the arena, whatever, however you want to call it, you need to be able to put your formation in a way so that the enemy's charging units do not go to your backline. So that's just a little bit of a strategy in how to place your troops or your units. Just some things to keep in mind. You also have your ranged units, which are your ranged DPS that deal a ton of damage from the back and are just throwing arrows or whatever, just throwing stuff at the enemy and dealing a ton of damage. Pretty straightforward. And then last but not least, you have your caster units. Now these are your mages, your healers, your the magic unit, right? They're the ones that are technically backline but towards the middle, right? They are not all the way in the back. They could be, in the second to the last, slots, and they'll work just fine. Essentially, they can do big burst damage of magic, or they can be more of a defensive, a healer, a buffer, or a debuffer. Depends on what we have set up. Now, with that said, every single unit is unique in its own way. Alright? Now let's take a look at the Dwarf. Okay? The Dwarf has a skill that at the beginning of battle, it'll essentially increase all of your units within its range, all of its units HP by 16%. It'll also increase its damage by 3% and increase its defense by 3%. And this will last the entire battle. Now this is a very big defensive buff, right? Like I said, the defensive units, they are your front line. They're the ones that are going to make sure that they need to live. They need to survive. They're the ones that are going to essentially be taking the beating in these fights, right? Now, if you look at another hero or unit that I have that is also a defensive unit, it's my swordsman. Now, this swordsman, its skills is... Oh, okay. Its skill says that when you are in battle, the first strike will grant you the unit damage reduction at an increased by a rate of 30% for 20 seconds. So essentially, for 20 seconds, it takes 30% less damage. That is a lot, right? 30% less damage, that adds up after a while. So they are different. Each unit is unique in its own way, right? Same thing with the charging units, right? These are some that are easy to see the difference, right? The Griffin is more of a high damaging unit, right? It'll go in and it'll deal 100% damage to 3 units. That's a lot of damage, right? Now if you compare it to this Unicorn, which as you can see is also a charging unit, what this one can do is it'll blind the unit that it hits, right? Instead of dealing a bunch of damage, it'll blind them, so it's less likely that the enemy will be able to hit you. So that is something that we need to keep in mind depending on how we want to progress these battles or how we want to fight these battles. Obviously very, very important stuff. And each one of these has their own specific roles and how they play the game. Eventually, once I unlock more of these, I will probably be doing videos more in-depth per unit, or at least the ones that I think are important. So yeah, definitely be on the lookout for that. Now, I do also have 2 heroes that I want to go ahead and talk about. Come on. Now, the first hero is a hero that you get from the very beginning, Catherine. Now, Catherine is a very good starting hero compared to some of the other ones that I unlock, right? I use her more often than I do Ryland, and I'll tell you guys why in a minute, okay? So right out the bat, her ultimate magic ability, Blizzard, it deals a ton of damage, like a lot of damage to a pretty wide area. Alright, so also she has a smaller magic damaging skill that deals some damage to units, obviously not as much as Blizzard. But the skills that I really like to use with Catherine are this Mirth skill, which pretty much lets the units that are under effect of this spell, they get 50% attack speed increase for 15 seconds. So they're attacking 1.5 times faster, 50% faster. That's a considerable amount. And then also Slayer is also a very, very, very strong skill because it'll increase the attack by 76%. Very, very useful, and this spell lasts for 10 seconds. So if you can combine these two, I mean, you can imagine 15 seconds of 50% attack speed and another 10 seconds of 76% more damage. That is insane, right? Very, very nice. And yeah, that is my update for this video. Probably next video I will probably be talking about the Colosseum and how I've been playing it, or I might also be talking about these 2 gates that I've experienced and explored for a few times. So yeah, definitely something I would highly recommend that you guys try out. Please download, link is down in the description. Click on it, download it, pre-register, do whatever you need to do. Just try this game out. I guarantee you will not be let down. Until next time, guys. See ya.